And you look up, you're like, okay, who's going to help me? And you're like, crap, it's me again. Hey, y'all, my name's Nathan Fender. I'm an independent country artist from the middle of nowhere, Virginia, and I'm making these videos, these meaning if we continue to make them. This is kind of our first one, to document the process from me and my team's position where we are now, which is just a little past zero, to where we hope to be later, which is far past it. And we'll see where it takes us. It's also, for me, right now I'm 18, and I got a lot on my plate. And I think it's going to be valuable for me to look back one day and see what was in the mind of me when I was 18 and what kind of problems I was dealing with, me and the team were dealing with, which ones we fixed and how we did it, and which ones we ended up making worse. But the biggest goal of it is to give y'all an inside look of what it's like to be an independent artist that's 18 years old, trying to juggle a lot of things and spin a lot of plates with a small production team at this point that's spread all across the country. We work out of several different states. All right, so just to catch you up to speed a little bit, so I'm 9 years old, right? I'm about to turn 9 years old. Only thing I want for my birthday is guitar and some guitar lessons. So my parents were nice enough to get that for me, and that was the start of this whole thing. Now I really didn't like practicing at the time, but I was still, you don't want to practice at all when you're 9 years old, of course. But when I'm 10 and a half, I joined my first band. It was this little bluegrass band. And it was about as terrible as you would expect a band of people aged from 10 to 13 making this attempt at music. It was basically just a lot of noise, but so not much happened with that. We actually kind of got kicked out of a place one time. That's a funny story, but I liked it. I liked it, and it was the start of this whole journey. So when I was 13 or 14, I was part of starting another bluegrass band, one that actually did kind of become something, because when I was 15, it won 5th place in one of the biggest bluegrass conventions / competitions in the entire country. So that was kind of a big deal, at least for us. So right after we won that, I actually left that band to go kind of start doing what I kind of always wanted to do, which was something along the lines of country music. Also, throughout this time, meaning from like 9 years old to where I am now at 18, I've been a worship leader, I've been a hired gun guitar player, I've been a session guitar player, obviously songwriter, and professional dabbler on things that didn't work. And that's a common theme that you'll see throughout this if we continue to make these videos, is there's a lot of experiments and a lot of things you try that don't end up working in the end. I'm 15, leave that. I'm 16 years old now at this point. Some stuff happens in my life that was kind of painful at the time, but ends up becoming one of the best things ever because it led to me making my first album. So I was 16 years old. I made an entire album. I played 8 instruments on it. I produced the whole thing, and I made it right in this room. There's another video on this channel somewhere about it if you want to see it, if you want to hear about it. But what made that so good was not that that's the best music I'll ever make, because it's not. Like, the songs I'm about to tell you about are far better. But that album ended up in the hands of a producer and a team in Tennessee that I eventually started working with. And that was what made it so significant, was not it as much as what it led to. Now, what they really liked, meaning Glenn, who's now my manager and producer, and the rest of his team, was the songwriting. They loved the songwriting, but they wanted to take the production quality to the commercial level, because I just wasn't able to do that here. But that was really cool, because I found myself, that was in July of 2024, and then later, I was in like November of that year, I'm down there in Chattanooga working with some of the guys I used to listen to on the radio when I was 9 years old. So that was kind of a full circle moment to be working firsthand with the guys in Confederate Railroad, who have all played with other big acts. But I mean, even Confederate Railroad was multi-platinum back in the 90s. Not that I'm from the 90s, but I used to listen to a lot of 90s music. Like, I was just riding in the car with my mom or dad, listening to country music, listening to country radio literally every day. So that was kind of a cool moment. Okay, so that kind of catches you up on like the macro, how we got here, like big picture. Now we're going to get a little more specific, like today. By the way, the point of these videos is not to just be a highlight reel. Now, I know I just kind of gave you the highlight reel, but the point is for this to be less of a highlight reel and for it to be the real reel, like of what it actually looks like. And the truth is, like, right now I'm 18 years old. I graduated high school a year early, so I'm in college currently. And I'm taking 18 credit hours this semester and spending 3 to 4 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week on this music thing. So there's a lot going on. And I couldn't do this all by myself and put out as much stuff as we are. You know, we make a lot of content without the little team we have. So we have the guys in Confederate Railroad, and we have some referencing engineers in other states, and we have associate producer in Rhode Island. But really, the core team is 3 people. So we have me, obviously. I write the songs. I play guitar. I don't really play all the other stuff now anymore. But, play guitar, write the songs, sing the stuff. And I'm kind of the creative thing behind the whole thing. Other guy who's like really involved in it is Micah. He's right behind the camera right now. He's my brother. He does anything you see. Anything you see, that's him. So he's running these cameras right here. He'll edit this. He even does like the album covers, any of that stuff. He's really pretty good with that. And then now there's a third guy who's in like the core, which is my manager and producer, Glenn. And he's not here with us. He's in Chattanooga, but I'm on calls with him every week. I've been down to his place a few times now, and he has the big studio where all this stuff was tracked. He does all the mixing and mastering that I used to do, even though it is far better, that I used to attempt to do, as he would probably say. But he's been a big help, and both those guys have been a big help with making this possible, because just with my schedule between school and this and just living life, it is very busy. And I will say, like, the big difference between working by myself, like I did for like a really long time, to working with a big team is when you're working by yourself for so long, you come across a problem and you're trying to fix it, and you're looking down at this problem and you look up, you're like, okay, who's going to help me? And you're like, crap, it's me again. and it's always that way. And there's parts of working alone which are cool, but I mean, that sucks. So I mean, with having Glenn, a guy who's been doing this for 40 years at this point, I can call him up whenever and be like, hey, can you help me with whatever? Do you have any advice on this? That makes a massive difference, because I mean, otherwise you wouldn't have the kind of stuff that we're about to put out, what I think is a really good song, what they all think is a good song. You wouldn't have that without them. So even though I'm like the face of this whole thing, there are, like I said, there's the core 3, but there's also all the guys from Railroad and all the reference engineers. So there are a lot of people behind this. So like, you got to give credit where credit's due. Like, I'm just the face of it, basically. And I write the songs and I sing it. But other than that, I mean, there's a lot of guys helping me now. And then, I'm still having to work 3 to 4 hours a day, every single day. But otherwise this wouldn't be possible with me being in college trying to do all this. So really big kudos to those guys. So this song, Cocaine Lipstick, is the first song I've done since this team has kind of been assembled. So I went down there to Chattanooga for a couple days. Was working with the guys from Railroad, got to meet them, got to work with them. It was a lot of fun, good guys too. And while I was down there, I got to actually play an NPR show with my buddy Jet Black. He invited me down there. Another guy Glenn works with. So that was super cool. So this was the first time I played on the radio. Not only the radio, it's interesting when your first time on the radio is a nationally syndicated radio show. It will be on several hundred channels. It's not out yet, but it'll be out probably later this summer. And it was a live show, and it was recorded, and that was a blast. Really good. That's a small little place in Chattanooga, but really great crowd. Really nice people down there that were really happy to see me. And that was a great time, and I'm excited for that to come out. So what we ended up doing with the vocal was he had me come home and build a vocal booth here, actually, in my studio. It's right there behind me. And the purpose of that was so we could do multiple takes, that if we needed to redo it, he lives so far away, that I could record it here, we could send it around all the references, and if we needed to redo anything, we could do it right here. So had that built, and that was a big help. All right, so like I said earlier, the point of these videos is not really to just be a highlight reel. Like I said, it's the real of, what really happens. And even though this is, a great story and everything is great now, there were periods of time that were really pretty stressful. So like when my stuff had originally been sent over there, like I said, they love the songwriting, but their biggest complaint from several of the people was my voice. They were not super happy with my vocal. And these are big-time guys, so it mattered to me. I didn't want to look like a wuss or anything, but it did kind of annoy me. And not annoy me. I wouldn't say it annoyed me. It bothered me because deep down I knew it was true. I didn't want to, look like a wuss, and act like it bothered me, but it did bother me. So I worked for a few months really hard to get practice, so when it came time to record the vocals, that I would be ready. So we go to Chattanooga, we record the song, we record the instruments for the song. I come back here, like I said, we had built a vocal booth, and it's time to record the vocals. So I get the phone call. It's like, we need you to record the vocals this week. You got 7 to 10 days round trip. And here's the reason why it was so important. So first of all, here's why it takes so long. Like, I have to do it. It has to get sent to Glenn. Then it has to get sent to our references across the country. They have to give feedback. Comes back to him, back to me, and then I re-record stuff, and then it goes around the loop again to make sure everything's fine. You don't always know how much detail, how much stuff's going to have to be changed, but that's basically the way it works. And the reason there was so much stress behind this was because and why it was such a finite deadline was because I was going to have to go to Cleveland to have a very rare throat surgery right after this. In fact, when I sent the final vocal, I was in the car on my way to the Cleveland Clinic. And like I said, I live here in Virginia. And that surgery, everything was fine. But it knocked me out for like a month. It knocked my voice out for a month. So and I knew it might do that. I wasn't supposed to do it that long, but you know how that is. They're like, it should take 2 weeks, and then it's a month. You're like, but it ended up being okay in the end. But the point is, I had to get it done at a very specific time, and I already had the pressure of previous, quite a bit of criticism from previous things. And, it was constructive criticism. These guys liked me. That's why they worked with me. But it was criticism. So all the practice I did ended up being very helpful, because by the time it came to record the vocal, I was ready to do it. And once it got sent to the guys after the first draft, the same people who were not really very happy about it, liked it quite a bit. And that meant a lot to me, to see that we had improved some. I could tell Glenn was pretty tickled about it. And that was a big win, especially, because otherwise the project, right now it's April, it's coming out right now. And, it would have gotten put off till, May or even June. You never know how far it would have been put off. So that kept the project on schedule. That kept all them on schedule. And it gave them a product that they were really, really happy about, to see that I was able to get the vocals up to snuff. So that was kind of a more high pressure moment, knowing you got to get it right, but you got to get it right, and you got to get it right fast. And after I got back from the surgery in Cleveland, it was time to do the guitar solo. And Rusty could have done it for sure, but, I've been playing guitar now at this point for 9 years, and that was kind of my first thing. I've already done some session work and stuff before. So I got to do that, which was great, because that was a lower pressure thing, something I really like to do. And that's just like more relaxing almost and fun than recording vocal under that kind of pressure. Okay, so this video series or format or whatever, let's talk about that for a second. So like I said, the main purpose is to bring y'all in and bring y'all in as insiders to see what's going on, and to document my journey from where I am now to where I hope to be later. And so this is kind of a different kind of video. This is kind of a catch up. If we continue to do this, it will be probably a combination of what I'm doing right now, which is storytelling. It'll probably be a combination of like vlogging, behind the scenes, and like podcasts, like a weird hybrid between that. Like, so we've been taking some videos. You've probably seen some throughout this video at this point, of like what me and Micah are doing on these sets while I'm making content, what pictures look like when we're down in Chattanooga, what it's like to play a national radio show, all that kind of stuff. And what we do to get there, it'll be much more, here's what's going on right now, than this video has been. But if you like this, and if we continue to do this, we'll do a few more of them. I just don't know how many. But if you like this, please leave us a comment saying you do, because there is a lot of work that goes into this. And, if y'all are like, you know what, I'd rather just listen to the song, and you could shut up at any other time, that's fine too. You can just go listen to the song. But if you like it, leave us a comment and let us know. By the way, y'all on Instagram or YouTube Shorts or TikTok or whatever, like the ones of y'all that comment like regularly, like we're small enough that like I recognize all of you. Like across the platform, you might have the 10 regulars or whatever that are commenting all the time. And like I know y'all. So like I see it. And it matters to me. It doesn't just matter to me. It matters to us. It matters to the whole team. Again, I'm just the face of it, but that doesn't mean there's a lot more work that goes into this than just me, even though I'm doing a lot. But we really do appreciate that. This song, we spent a long time on it, Cocaine Lipstick, and we're really proud of it. If you like it, I would like to introduce you to my marketing plan. It's you. You're my marketing plan. If you want to share a clip of it to like your Instagram story, or share it on Facebook or TikTok, or send it to any of your friends that like it, that is a really big deal to us. As a small independent artist trying to do our best, there's a lot we're doing, and the best hope I have at getting this out there is making quality stuff and hoping y'all like it and refer it to other people. So that's the goal. Like, if there's one thing you can do to help us, it's sharing this with more people so we can continue to grow this thing. Hope you enjoyed this kind of video today. It's definitely something new, out of the ordinary for us. And if you do, again, comment or like or whatever, make sure that we know that you like this kind of thing. Share the song. Thanks for being on the ride. If you made it this far, you're a real one. And I will see you later.